It's been a little bit over 2 months since I got the Friedman IR-X, and today we're going to find out if it's still worth the hype. We're going to be taking an in-depth look at its specs and most importantly, how it sounds. And stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to go over some of the things I really don't like about the pedal and what I really do enjoy about the pedal. What's really cool about this pedal is that it's an all-tube preamp, two 12AX7s. It's got 2 channels plus a boost, and then it's got an effects loop so you can put delay and reverb and different things like that. Or you could send out to the effects return of your tube amp or power amp to use it as the preamp into the power amp, getting an all-tube Friedman amp signal by just using the IR-X. Also, you can go to a gig, don't have to bring an amp out at all, just bring the Friedman IR-X, or you can record at the house quietly through the balanced out that has built-in IRs. Specifically, there's 3 switches on each channel. So you can go in and actually program the IRs. You have 3 on the top, and you can choose your favorite ones and at a moment's notice, switch through those to get any sound that you want. It is also MIDI programmable, which is really, really cool. I haven't used that feature yet, but I just could see that being very valuable when setting up with other pedals, and you can change channels and turn the boost on and off or switch IRs via MIDI. And I think that'd be a really great gigging rig to combine it with MIDI like that. Awesome, so let's hear the Friedman by itself now. I got the editor pulled up, which is another cool thing that it comes with. And the signal is literally straight in to the input of the Friedman IR-X, out into my interface, into my computer. And I am adding a splash of reverb. It's the Universal Audio Pure Plate reverb. I really love how it sounds on guitars. And so I guess got a little bit of that going to kind of fill up some space. All right, and I've got loaded up Dave's iconic 4x12 IR, and I think it's using a 57 and a 121 as the mics. First thing, I'm gonna go to the bright switch here. So that's in the middle. Let's hear it on the right. So that's quite a bit brighter. I can actually hear it kind of pushing a little bit more distortion out of it now. It's a little bright for me, but I really like that. It's got nice character there. Let's go to the far left side on the bright switch. For the neck pickup. And if we add, let's go add the boost. The boost is at noon on this. See, I'm digging that. That just sounds awesome. Now let's switch some, I got some different IRs loaded up. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I got 3 here. So let's go, this one's gonna be the greenback. The greenback's a little sparklier, little less lows on there, but I think it's just mic'd up with like a 57, so that's probably why. The other one had the ribbon 121 as well as a 57. Ooh. And then lastly, we got this is going to be the greenback and the V30 loaded up with a 57 and 121 as well. Back to the middle. That's Friedman's go-to right there. That one sounds awesome. All right, now let's go to the second channel here. Boom. Same IR loaded on here. Engage the tight switch. Nice. All right, lastly, I want to go over some of the things that I really like and what I really don't like. Starting off with what I don't like. First, a good sip of coffee. So I don't understand why on this pedal, I don't know why there's 3 buttons, because it just gets confusing. I wish this was a channel toggle, right? Or at least one of them was a channel toggle that would go on. And I wish the boost would stay on by itself. Because right now, like say I have it on channel 1, go to channel 2, it turns off, go back, now it's off. I don't know what's going on there. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like I want to be able to have it on here, go to channel 2, and it be on. I have to do like a double click or something. I don't think that makes sense, at least for the way I like to use pedals. I just find that kind of be strange. So I just think there's too many buttons on there for what's going on. And it might be something with the MIDI thing, which I think is really cool. I don't know why it's set up like that. It doesn't make sense. Also, there's no bypass. Like I would get if there was 3 buttons, if one was a bypass, like this turned the entire unit off, and then this toggled channels, and this was the boost, right? That's how I probably would have set it up, and it just would have made more sense, because then I could throw it and leave it on my pedal board. I want to construct a pedal board with this where I can use my amp that I use all the time, but also have it on there as a backup if I want to do something else, but also in a way where I don't have to completely unwire everything and rewire it up for this to work. I just think that's kind of inconvenient, because every time this is in the chain, it's on. Like there's no, if it's going through, there's no bypass possible, which I don't know. I think that's a kind of a mishap. I think the button layout could have been improved upon very easily. Other thing is there's no XLR out. It's a TRS balanced out, which is great, but it should have been that much better if it was an XLR out, or even better if it was one of the combo jacks where you could go TRS or XLR out. That just made it super, super easy to show up to a gig, plug it in, or use it at the house with an XLR and things like that, or also a TRS. All right, well, that's pretty much all the reasons I don't like it. Things I do like about it: number 1, sounds great. It's super easy to get a killer sound out of it. You put everything at noon and you load up, pretty much any IR will sound good. They all sound different, but they all sound good. So put everything at noon and you're pretty much good to go. I usually go to the tight switch on the first channel, get that kind of set up right, and then I'll adjust the knobs from there. I find the second channel is a little bit more tweaky. It sounds great completely at noon, but as you start to boost the gain, I find it starts to flub on the low end, so you might have to go to the tight switch, or you might have to adjust the bass control. But overall, it's super easy to get good sounds out of it, and nonetheless, it's super simple. It's always super simple to get a good sound out of it. And it reacts great in the hand. It's very dynamic. It's very expressive. Problem with some modelers is they're trying to sound like they're dynamic and they're trying to do all that. And so it doesn't exactly, it's still inspiring and fun to play on, but it's not like this. There's a massive feel difference with this. You got the boost on there, which is a great feature. I like how you can control how much gain that you want on that, or you can control the volume for a solo boost. Now, I haven't used it with MIDI, but that is a great side feature for programming different boards and pedal boards with delays and all kinds of cool stuff. So you can really have a great gigging rig with this. Also, the editor. Now, it's not a crazy, like, complicated editor or anything like that. And you can't change the knobs because those are all analog. But what you can do is, like, if you watch the pedal right now, I can go through and I can turn the boost on, I can change channels. I can go in there and obviously change the IRs, which you can't see on the unit itself. But you can go in here and do a lot of cool things. It's super simple. You can change the presence and thump controls. I have those. I just found they're best in the middle for what I like, so I didn't really touch those today. But I think the editor is really cool. It's super simple. You can load your IRs in there. You can change the IRs. You can reprogram them. It's literally kind of the easiest thing ever to do. And I guess if you wanted to, you could have this, like right now I have this on my desk. And then I guess you could have the software up there, and then you can just change your channels and turn your boost on and do all that from the computer, which is really cool. All right, so that's my demo of the Friedman IR-X. It's a really, really cool pedal. Is it worth the hype? I think so overall. I think mainly with the sound, because it sounds fantastic, I think it's worth the hype. Friedman made a pedal. If you want the sound of Friedman and you want to go direct, I think this gets there. It's obviously not as killer as one of their big 100-watt amps or something like that, but it sounds pretty awesome. And for $500 to get that Friedman sound, I think it's a no-brainer. It's pretty sweet.